Hi everyone.
Hi.
Hey, this is your bonus vision board. And you may be asking yourself, what the hell is a vision board? And that's what we're going to tell you about. So, this is my dear friend Stephanie. We met through total fate and serendipity, laws of attraction, however you want to say it. And now we are like soul sisters. So, it's been 5 years, maybe? Yeah, 5 years. And we're going to be in each other's life till we die, which who knows, maybe by the time we live so long we'll never die, because we might manifest that. Who knows? We'll see. So Stephanie is awesome at explaining and teaching vision boards. She's really, really passionate about it. And so I'm just going to let her kind of explain like her creation and why she's so passionate about vision board.
When I think of vision boards, and I've heard them a bazillion times, and you probably even said, ugh, another video about vision boards. That was me. I've heard it all. I've done them all. I've tried them all. And what I found was that all of those things that people are telling you to do, it's not really about the how, the mechanics, the put this picture here, put it in this perfectly lined box, all these perfect things. It really is about the vibration and the feeling of what you are creating. And that is the number one biggest piece of vision boards is everybody's is going to be different because our creations are different and our own desires are different. But if we are creating them from a space of, I think this is what I should be doing, I know somebody said I need to make $100,000 a year this year, I think I should be doing this, then it's not going to work for you because it's not really coming from your heart, from your desires. So I have, in my 4 years of research and different webinars and different seminars and different things, have developed a foolproof vision board that you will absolutely love. That's super simple. It will be from your heart, from you, and we're gonna walk through those steps briefly, and then we're also gonna give you a handout that you're gonna have it. So, I invite you to just really tune into the energy, tune into what we're sharing as far as the vibration and the energy around the vision boards, and then do the vision board afterwards using the handout. You can always check back in with us because we'll be here.
I think what this video is really going to offer that I'm really excited about is taking the fear out of vision board making, because I think especially as modern day women, we're really worried to do something wrong, and we always feel like there's this little mold of way that we're supposed to be, like what is success, what is a good mom, what is the perfect body, what is the perfect vision board. So I think this video is more just taking the fear and the shame and the guilt and all of the like how-tos and just really honestly getting you excited, because you're the only one that's going to see it anyway. So what does it matter? Like if you do it wrong, or if you have to do it a million times, or if you don't like it and you rip it up and you do a new one, really it's just for you. It's like your journal. I have a journal that I keep. It's kind of my walking vision board. And I focus on my intention in the morning, and then I write down things like if I get inspired by hearing someone else's dream, or I'll get divine inspiration as I'm driving, like, oh my gosh, I would love this. This would make me happy. It's kind of like the Danielle Laporte. Remember when, did you do that? The desire map, and what really truly brings you joy and brings you desire. A sports car does not bring me desire at all. Actually, it gives me anxiety because it goes way too fast, and I feel like it's going to mess up my hair. So I really don't like sports cars. And I don't like jewelry. Like things like that don't give me joy, but they give other people lots of joy. So this is really just about finding your joy and getting excited about it. So. And
then putting the vision board is one thing, but it's the action. I always like to think of vision boards like an exercise equipment. Right, you buy this exercise equipment, or you go to the gym and it just sits there, and you're not actually physically on the exercise equipment.
So I can't just put my treadmill on my vision board?
No.
Oh shoot, okay, I've totally been doing that.
Yeah, so just like that exercise equipment, you just sit there and stare at it, it's not going to give you the big muscles. We get to use it now, we get to practice it, we get to exercise with our vision board, and one of my most favorite tools that we're going to share on this has to do with a journal, and it allows you to have a specific tool of what to do after the fact, after you've created this vision board, and then it's the then what. And I promise you, your mind and heart. I'm a very heart-based person. It will be blown, because you will truly desires that you didn't know exist come out. So that's going to be at the end of the video. We're going to walk you through steps, and then I'm going to give you that one last key to exercising to really incorporate the vision board into your life instead of just having a pretty picture, the treadmill on it, on your wall. So you guys ready to jump into the quick steps?
Okay. Yes, a vision board for intelligent people who don't know how to vision board.
Yes.
Okay.
Awesome.
I was going to say for dummies, but
no,
you can't put those words on your vision board, right?
No, because then that's who you are, right?
All right. So step one. What do we do?
So step one, I'm actually I'm gonna show you my vision board, and you're gonna laugh at it, because the reason why you may laugh at it is I've had vision boards that looked super, super pretty. They had the perfect lines, Pinterest board through and through, and they didn't work for me. And why they didn't work is because I was putting things on there that was not in my heart space. It was what I was expected to be manifesting. It was what April wanted to manifest, or my best buddy wanted to manifest. It was things that I wasn't, and it didn't work. I may have manifested pieces of it because I had that energy that I put out there to the universe that I wanted these pieces, but it was more of that want desire rather than that actual true desire, that heart-based desire. So number one, and I can't stress this enough, when you create your vision board, truly, truly get into the space of just love. Like, I'm a lover. April knows this about me. Like, I just, when I'm like connected to my heart, life just flows. And a lot of times when people create vision boards, just like April was talking about earlier, about like the fear of vision boards, and you have to do it the right way in order to get the results. When you come from that space of fear and the need, the I have to,
perfectionism,
I should, all of those negative scarcity words, your vision board may not work for you. There'll be pieces of it that'll work. I'm not going to say that it won't ever work for you, but the number one key is really to come from a space of high vibration, high, like just love, like excitement. That may be like putting on a music and just dancing your little heart out. For some, it might be a really soft meditation. YouTube has a bazillion meditation videos. Go find one that just really gets you into that heart center, just that very calm space and a very abundant space. I mean, even if you go to the store and get $100 bills and just throw money up and just get excited, you want to come from that space. If you've created a vision board in the past that hasn't been working for you, start over. You can take pieces from it, but just start over from that very high vibrational space. That would be my number one. That's my number one tip, is to start from that high vibration. Start from that excitement, that abundance, that wealth, all of those high vibrational words. Then step two, okay, now it's time to show you my awesome, beautiful vision board. Okay, you guys, I'm being serious here. I've made prettier ones than this. You ready? You ready?
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little surprised when I saw it.
Yeah.
But I think it's awesome.
This is my vision board that has been super phenomenal for me. So the reason why this has worked is because every piece on here has touched my desires. There's only 3 pieces. I've made it very simple. I have a much larger one at home. This is the one that I carry with me. Depending on my mood, I might do my work somewhere else, and we'll talk about that work of what you actually get to do with this vision board. So super simple. So you want to have a border. That's really for your mind to really focus in on a central location. So you can honestly just put, painter's tape up on the wall. You can do just a little 8x10. I'm now advancing into a much bigger one. But really what you want to do is have a space that's completely boarded out, that this is your focus for the time that you're going to be focusing on your vision board. So after you can get pictures, print pictures out. This awesome little picture, this is not my body, and actually this is going to be like video 2 of vision board manifesting, because women especially, we have this perfect picture of what our body should look like, and I would bet that majority of women are going to have something around their body. on their vision board or something that they want to create with their body. I created this picture probably about 4 years ago, and it was on the vision board that didn't work. And because when I looked at this picture, this is actually not who I saw. What really came out of this creation of this vision board this time was that I wanted to be healthy. My desire was more around health and having energy with my kids and doing all the things that I loved in life, not to have this swimsuit body.
Which is also photoshopped anyways, because this girl doesn't even really look like that. Actually, 98% of anything printed is photoshopped for men and women.
Yes.
Just so you know.
So I'll talk about this here in a minute at the end about the journaling and what gets created from that, and I'll share my personal, since I'm talking about this one, my personal experience with this one, and actually what I manifested from this picture, because it wasn't this photoshopped body, it was something so much more personal and so much more relevant to my life. So you want to keep it limited, I'd say between 3 to 6 items, desires that you want to create. I would highly recommend that you always have one relationship on there, one relationship that you want to create a win-win relationship in. I hate to use the word better, or you want to create that relationship. Everybody's looks different, so I'm not going to tell you what that relationship is, but have one relationship and have one money desire on here. And then the other ones, like April was saying, it could be a car, it could be a house, it could be whatever it is. But really just sit in the moment, think about something that it is that you want to desire. I like to start out with just a few of them, because what happens as you get into the space of exercising your vision board, more will come out. So just start with a few so then you don't get overloaded, and then I promise you more will come out, and then you'll be able to go create the pictures or the sayings that you want on your vision board. So get 3 to 6, stay in the 3 range in the beginning. And then the one piece of advice that I didn't learn until this year about a vision board is, see these little notes that I've been writing underneath. What you want to do is either get a sticky note, this is just a piece of paper, again, don't worry about what it looks like. You're going to write down what it is that you would like to create. So for me, I'm going to go back to this picture since I was talking about lose 10 pounds and drop inches in a healthy, quick way. That was my, I laugh about it now. That was my focus when I created my vision board. Then underneath it, you're going to write, who will this benefit? And you want to get out of your own self. So of course it's going to benefit you. What does that look like? But who else is this going to benefit? When you're able to expand your desire and encompass other people, you're more willing to lean into it. You're more willing to really be excited about it, because it's not just about you. It's about all of these other people. So April, I want you to jump in with your business. That would be a perfect example of who else is involved in that vision of, say you wanted to buy another salon. Who else is involved in that vision?
Yeah, I mean, I really have learned over the last 15 years of self-development and of self-worth, trying to find self-worth, the impact on other person's life is what really gives my life meaning and value, because none of us are an island and none of us are alone. And when I help empower other women, they help empower other women. They help empower their children. They're better with their husbands. It really is
it's that ripple effect.
Yes, and someone even told me, like, I used to see a therapist like 12 years ago, and I was just like, I don't even know, what's the point? It doesn't matter. Like, what I do doesn't matter. And she said, I said, I just do people's hair. It's so shallow. Like, I had this, like, thing of, like, making people look beautiful is super shallow, and I wanted to make them, and she said, when people leave your salon, they go home and they're happier, they feel more confident, they're a better mother, they're a better wife, they're better at their job, they're kinder to the store clerk. It really is that. And so if I do, like, 10 clients a day, and they're being like that, and then they're being like that, it really, like, I had to see the magnitude of, like, other people's effect, and, like, how that beauty really shines from within and then radiates out. And that has changed every reason of my why. I didn't buy the salons to make money, actually. There's lots of easier ways that I could have made money, but I really bought it to, like, change the industry and to, like, help women who are creative have a stable foundation. And now that's on my vision board is like this whole collective group of women, and, like, how they're going to help other women.
Yeah, and if it was just you, if you were only focused on you, in that vision wouldn't have been, it would have manifested. Because your vision of your salons was to incorporate all these women and men, all of these people that are going to benefit from these salons. And if it was just you would have manifested another studio, or you would have manifested just something that benefits you.
Well, even if it only benefited me, I wouldn't be a good hairstylist.
Yeah.
Because it's all about your clients,
Yeah.
which is like how I built my whole clientele. Is like I ask them about their day, what's going on in their life, what is important to them.
Yeah.
I don't just sit there and tell them all my things. Oh, this is so important to me. I ask them what's important to you, and I try to really hold that space for them.
Yeah.
So it can't be about you.
Yeah. So that's a piece that I've never seen in other videos that it was huge for me, because your vision is bigger than you. And as you touch other people, you'll see the value of what you can offer, because you're touching those people. And then think of the ripple effect of who they touch and who they touch. So it could be family, it could be all of those clients, if you're a coach, all those clients that are there to, that you see them getting inspired by you. It could be the dog, it could be whoever it is. So you want to expand that vision of who else can benefit from it. So you write it out. So our whole goal is we want to use all of our senses, and so we're visually looking at our vision board, we're writing things out for our vision board, we're going to be feeling them. When we get into the next step, you're going to be really getting into the space of what these things mean to you. And yes, go ahead, jump in.
So writing things down is actually, you remember things 70% better, I believe. I'll find out for sure if that's true. But I think it's around 70% better. And I know a lot of people and places that I have watched vision board making, they print stuff out on Pinterest so that it looks really pretty. But when you write things down and you physically, not even type them, but like you write them actually with blue ink, then you remember them so much better, and they get ingrained in your soul. So I know, that's actually Brendan Bouchard. I had to learn that at his Experts Academy. So like taking notes and even writing your vision board down. Yes, it's nice to have really nice pictures, but I think that actually writing it down, and that you wrote it down and it's your goal, it means more to you than cutting something out of a magazine. Like cutting out letters or words,
Yep, and like I said, don't worry about the pretty perfect letters, as you can see, and this thing has worked. So we have the visual, we have the writing, the physical writing, and then we're going to hear something here in a minute. I'm going to talk about that hearing piece in a minute. So
can we lick it? Should we?
Yeah, sure, you can lick it.
For the taste buds.
Taste it.
Put a scratch and stuff Snicker in it.
Well, that's a good point, though. If there's something on your vision board that's tangible, like that, say you want to be a chef, say you want to do this, like the next time you go cook a meal, like taste it, feel it, like
you gotta get all your five senses.
Yeah, get all your senses in there. Okay, so then the next step after we've got this up, we're going to hang this in a visible location. I recommend that it's somewhere that you can stand with, so that you're in an open body position, you're in that receiving position when you sit. You tend to be more crunched, you're not letting that complete flow through your body. So we're going to put this on our wall, and we're going to stand up next to it. Morning and night, at least 3 minutes. It's only 3 minutes that you have to commit yourself. I promise you won't just spend 3 minutes on it, but 3 minutes, that's it. You're going to commit yourself morning and night to your vision board. And what you're going to do is you're going to go up to your vision board and you're going to stand and stare at it. Thank you. So we're going to stare at my picture of, I am at my perfect healthy weight, right? So I'm going to stare at it. I'm going to read what I wrote here. I'm just going to really just be in the moment with it. Just really feel it. Okay? And then you're going to close your eyes. And the whole purpose of, so you're seeing it, right? And now we want to tap into that intuition, that inner feeling, that vibration. And usually it's easier to do that when you close your eyes because you're blocking out all the other senses. So we're going to go into it and we're going to really feel about it. And the state that you're in that closed eye state is in the present moment of what that feels like to be already there. What does it feel like? What are you hearing? Who's around you? What are you smelling? What are you feeling? What are you wearing? All of those, like, just that, I got the tingles, so this is good. Just what are you feeling? And you're going to get into that state of, I'm there. And when you get those tingles or whatever your spirit bumps tell you, which, you'll know it and you'll feel it and you're there. And that's putting you at that vibration of creation, right? Remember, all a vision board is really just changing the vibration within you to already receive that. It might look different than this, and in fact, that's a good point of me getting into this. So my perfect healthy weight, I wanted to lose 10 pounds, and I put this up on my board. when you get into this moment, you feel what that feels like to be 10 pounds lighter. You're feeling it and all of this. And what really came out for me as I was in my meditative state wasn't about the 10 pounds. I wanted to be healthy. I desired to be running around with my kids. I didn't want to sit on the sidelines anymore when they're out playing at the park. I wanted to be in there present, playing with them. And so as I continued with my work with my vision board, it came out, I did lose 10 pounds. It wasn't in the way that I thought it would come. So actually got to skip, and then I'll come back to that. So I'm in that moment, and it will change. It may change. It'll morph, because the universe has so much more to offer. God, whatever your choice of source words, but the universe has so much more for you to offer, or it has so much more to offer you than you could ever imagine. It's going to be more perfect than you can ever imagine. So you're not meditating on the how-tos. I know some of you are checklist people, making sure you're going through the checklist, but you want to be tapping into that emotion of the feel-goods, because the how actually comes out in most likely a different way than you ever imagined. So we're going to get in that state. Again, 3 minutes. If one day you just want to focus on this guy, the next day on this guy, or you can do an all-around thing, that's fine. So you're going to be in that state. You're going to be feeling about it. And then here's the key that, again, a second one that in April touched on with a journal that I've not had anybody share before until this year, and it has been absolutely life-changing. So the next step you want to have is a journal with you. So after you've been in that space, you got those tingles, you're feeling that vibration, you're going to want to write about anything that comes to you. You're going to have 2 columns on your paper. You're going to line down the middle on 2 columns, okay? One side is going to be positive. The other side is going to be negative. So any thought that comes to your mind that resonates positive, happy, light, whatever, that's going to be in your positive side. On the other side is anything that's negative. I can't do this. This is so, I promise you, your first one that's
never going to happen.
Never going to happen. This is so stupid. I'm not worthy of $50,000, whatever it is. I promise you they'll come out. In fact, when I first started this process, here's my journal and all these pages. Those were all, so we'll get to that. These were all my positives. And my negatives were so much more blaring. And then as I go through the process, the negatives start coming less and less. Because we're retraining our minds, our hearts, we're retraining our thought process to really focus on that positive, the desires of what we want, not what we don't want. So you're going to write down your positives, you're going to write down the negatives, and then now that sense of hearing, what we're going to do is we're going to say out loud the positives. So I can aspire to get healthy. Whatever those positives are, you're going to just read them down the list. And then we're going to go to the negative column, and we're actually going to flop them. And we're going to read the opposite of what those negatives. So I can't do this. Heck yeah, I can do this. And you're going to say them out loud. You're going to sound silly, and you're going to laugh at yourself, but keep doing it. I promise you. We're using all of our senses. We're really getting into it. So you're going to say the opposite of them and turn them into a positive. You can write them down if you want. If it's something that was really good that you want to save for later, write them down. You're going to write down any thought that comes to you. Oh, I want to write a book about this. I've never thought about doing it this way. Oh, I need to talk to this person about their journey, or about, they told me about a book. Like anything that comes to you, don't discount it. Just write it down. And then after you write it down, you're going to rip out those negatives, because we don't want to keep those. We're going to keep all of these amazing thoughts that came to us, but we don't want to keep any of that garbage. So rip it out, throw it away, burn it, whatever you want to do. Get rid of it. So going back to this picture of me, as I started writing about my stuff, it was really about my kids. It was really about the energy. It was about confidence. It was about waking up and putting on my pants and not wiggling into them. It was never about the weight. And in the time frame that I was focusing on this piece, a friend of mine shared with me about a fast. It was a spiritual fast, a water fast. I thought that was pretty interesting. She told me about a documentary, so I watched the documentary, and I followed that intuition. I followed this guidance that I was writing down because I was at that high vibration, and I went with it. I ended up doing a 5-day water fast, and my life was completely blown up, and the direction that I went with it, I just was able to receive a lot of insight. And through it, and if you actually do a fast, that's a whole other story and topic that I won't even get into, but it was really about journaling, and it was a journaling about the emotions that would come up. And that's where I was able to heal myself in this little 10 pounds that I thought I had to lose. I was able to heal all of those misconceptions I had of my own self and my own weight through that fast. I didn't lose the 10 pounds on my fast. I ended up losing it after my fast, which was super cool. But by being open to receiving what the universe was giving me to manifest this, I lost the 10 pounds, but I received more than I could have ever imagined. That's not something I would think about in this moment. And the friend that shared with me, it was a relationship she was trying to heal, and she ended up doing her fast based around a relationship and healed that relationship. So that ripple effect, thankfully she shared that with me, and it was, for her, it was a divine share that she was like, oh, I just felt like I needed to tell you about this thing type thing. And so the journaling allows all of those intuitions, those thoughts that your normal conscious mind doesn't allow it to come out. So you want to do, that's why it's so important to be journaling. And this is the piece that I've never ever had anybody talk to me about when it comes to vision boards. And you'll be able to go back. Real quick, another example that I had on here is I'm currently in corporate America, and I'm transitioning into building my business. So I put on here that I get to work for myself and make $6,000 or more, always do or more each month. And this was one of the biggest pieces on this vision board that I have since manifested by doing the work here. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. My work 4 months ago is different than what I'm doing now. Since I've been working on this, I now have a children's book manuscript out, a kid's journal that's going to be published here pretty soon. This work that April and I are doing, there's some mirror work, just different things, that the avenues that have come out that I did not know existed. But it was because, and they are so much more aligned with me than what I thought 5 months ago. So the journaling piece, that's where those ideas come, and go with them and then read them, and you'll feel good which one is the right direction, and then take committed action. That's the piece. Like you can write it down. Again, like you can work out, you can have that exercise machine there, but you don't do anything with it. You got to do the committed action. So if something comes out while you're in this state with your vision board, again, 3 minutes. I know this might not sound like it because of how much, anyway. Something comes out, you write it out, you get it out, and then if it feels good, do it. You have 5 seconds. You guys all know the 5-second rule, Mel Robbins. 5 seconds, get it out, do something with it. And then, do you have anything to add on this before we get to the
I actually it kind of just popped in my head like 2 or 3 times, so I figure I better share it. So one thing that I was just thinking I'm going to add to mine is, so I am working with releasing emotional, I have a lot of issues about like eating and just from my childhood, and I know that it's kind of like a way of self-numbing. And so one thing I've started doing, I read this book called The One Thing, and I use it in everything for my business, and it has really transformed that. In the book Essentialism has really just helped me. So when I read this, I say, I am healthy, I am my perfect body, I love myself, I appreciate, I have gratitude. And then you journal, and then afterwards I kind of just ask myself throughout the day, like as I'm driving to work, like what's the one thing that I can do today to help me reach my goal of being healthy? What's the one thing I can do today to help me reach my $6,000, or to help me buy that salon, or to help me fill that studio? Like what's the one thing? Because I think a lot of times you kind of are like, oh my gosh, it's so much. Or you write down like 20 things and you could do them all, but you can't do them all at once. So it's like, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? So like, what's that one thing that I can do? And I think that by doing that, you have a lot more clarity, because also with vision boarding and goal setting in general, and like even manifesting money, if you're not clear, the universe isn't going to give you anything. If you don't even know what you want, like if I want to lose some weight, well, like you're going to lose a pound, or you're going to get dysentery and lose, whatever. Like, but if you say, I want to be healthy, I want to have energy, and I want to lose 20 pounds of fat by this date. That's like really specific, and that's very clear. I know where my target is. I know where I'm going. Make sure these goals are really clear. Don't just put, I want to be healthy. Like, what does that mean to you? Does healthy mean like running, doing a hike, like having good blood pressure and cholesterol? Like what does that mean and feel like to you? Because a lot of people think that they're healthy, or a lot of people are healthy in different ways. So, there's a lot of people who do yoga, but they drink Diet Coke all the time. So there's just like these things that you have to be clear of what that is to you. And when you say it out loud to yourself, you'll feel it in your gut, which is also your second brain.
Yeah.
So you gotta get your mind, your heart, and your gut all to be aligned.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where the hearing, like you're saying it to yourself, so you're also hearing it. Good. Love it. So then the last piece, and this is where the excitement comes. After you have completed your goal, and I left it up here for visualization for you guys to see how beautiful my chart was before, but this now is in my evidence book. You can create an evidence book, like just a silly binder that has the plastic sleeves, or a keepsake box, a shoe box, whatever it is that makes you feel good. You take it off your vision board, put it in your evidence box, and then you put something else that you get to create in that space. And the reason why we want to create that evidence box is we forget that we're master creators. Like, we are the creator of our own realities, right? And sometimes it's the little things that actually remind us how amazing and how creative we are. So when you kind of get down and like, oh, nothing's really going that well, you can pull out your evidence box and remember, oh yes, I created this, and oh yes, I created this. And you'll start seeing other miracles happen as you're doing it. One of these, when I first started, the first day I did my vision board, the next morning my husband and I went to coffee, and we go to our normal coffee shop. And as I was doing it, the thought came out, and I wrote it down that I want a free cup of coffee. And I even laughed at it because I was like, I can buy myself a cup of coffee. But I went with it, and I said it out loud, and I put it out in the universe. Next day we go, this literally is the second day of me doing my vision board work. Go to the coffee shop, we pull up, we give them our order, normal process that we normally do, and then we get to the window, and they said, our power just went out, so here's your coffee. We had already made them before the power went out. Here's your coffee. We can't accept payment. So not only did I get one free cup of coffee, I got two. And the cool thing about it is the whole block, and this was a huge block, the whole power went out in the whole block for me to get my free cup of coffee. You can't make that stuff up. And it was a free cup of coffee. I was jumping up and down. And that was the vibration that I got to operate at, to receive my free cup of coffee. And it was all just because this has nothing to do with coffee, right? But that was an idea that came out, and I journaled about it. I said it out loud, and I got my cup of coffee the next day.
And not only did you get a free cup of coffee, but probably everybody else at
that
same time
got a free
that
cup
was
of coffee.
inside or whatever got also a free cup of coffee. So you manifested it for other people besides yourself. See?
Yeah. So you can always write a note afterwards and add that to your evidence book. I got my free cup of coffee, so you can remember those things as well. Because they're not always going to be on your vision board that you end up manifesting. It's going to be amazing things. I have notes under all of these other things that as I was manifesting, I'm like, oh yes, I want that. So my next vision board had those additional things on there. So there's the actual to-dos. Again, we're going to give you a printout so you can have this all in. I'm like an over-explainer when it comes down to writing, so I promise you're going to have all of the tips, tools, and everything we talked about here to go and create your board.
And make it fun. Do it with a friend. I always have a group of girls, and I don't do New Year's resolutions. I usually do it around November because I feel like that is kind of the time where there's already this really good energy, and there's a lot of giving and a lot of gratitude and a lot of remembrance of important things. So I always start in November, and I'll get a group of girls together and just be kind of what's our goals for humanity and what's our goals for ourselves, and we kind of create them together, and then we share them with each other, and we also hold space for each other, and we hold each other accountable. So I think it's really good to if you're gonna go to the gym, but if you get an accountability gym buddy to meet you there, I might sleep in for myself, but I'm not gonna sleep in for Stephanie because she's also woke up at 6 a.m. to meet me at the gym.
Yeah.
So I don't want to disappoint her.
Yeah.
More than I would probably disappoint myself easier than disappointing her. So it is good to have an accountability buddy and make it fun.
Yeah. So remember, the whole point of vision boards is to get yourself in that state of feeling, the high vibration. Anything that you desire can be received, can be manifested. You have to operate at the vibration of that receiving. And so, like April said, make it fun. If it was stuffy, throw it away, start over. If you even get
it's
in the
a
middle,
vision board for crying out loud. I mean, it's already kind of woo-woo.
If you get in the middle of it and you're like, this isn't working for me, start over. You do what works for you. But just have fun with it and make it so exciting. Yeah. So I think the last thing we wanted to talk about before we close this out is just, you've heard a few of my stories about manifesting through my beautiful vision board. April, do you have any additional stories you want to share?
Well, I just want to share actually how we met.
That's a good one.
So I have always been a giver and a people pleaser and a fixer for a long time. And I attracted very unhealthy friendships that basically they either wanted me to financially support them, or I was their go-to person. Like, I was always the one lifting them up, and they always felt good around me, but they really kind of sucked me dry, and like they never held space for me. Like, I always had to be happy, I always had to be in a good mood so that I could hold space for them and lift them up. And it really started wearing on me, and my husband was like, you need some new fucking friends. Like, he was so blatant about it. I was like, okay, I probably do. And so I had kind of just wanted to manifest women that were playing life at a higher level. Not seeing financially, like that I needed to have women that only made money or whatever, but women that actually like held space for other women, and women that you could be vulnerable with and feel safe with, and that also held space for you and supported you, but not at the expense of making you feel guilty. Like, well, remember when I helped you move and now I'm moving? You know, like keeping score. Yeah. It was really just like, I'm helping you because I'm free and I felt called to do it. So I had, I've been into manifestation and the laws of attraction for about 15 years. And so I just really wanted to meet some cool women. And so 5 years ago, this will show you how far Darcy and I have grown, we decided to do a bridal show at the Salt Palace. Mm-hmm. The Salt Palace? Yes, we did a bridal show at the Salt Palace. And we had never done one before, and we were gonna, we were trying to like be so strategic. We bought these like $700 curtains, and we were just being like, we were gonna make so much money from this bridal show, which was a total bust. So afterwards we're like, why did we do that stupid bridal show? That was the biggest waste of money. But we were next to Stephanie, and she was selling Arbonne at the time, and she was doing makeup and I was doing makeup. So at first we were kind of like, they put me right next to a makeup artist. But then we decided to just talk and be like, hey, I can send people, I don't sell makeup, and I don't usually, like, I could just do makeovers for weddings. Like, we actually realized we were in a completely different industry. And if we weren't, it was okay, because life is abundant. There can be more than one makeup artist in the world, actually, and they can all be successful. So we totally met, and then we kind of just started having these little nights at the salon where Darcy would teach about keeping $300 in your wallet and buying a nice wallet, and just kind of like abundance and laws of attraction. And she had just barely gotten into The Secret. Mm-hmm. And it was just so crazy because we both have gone on such a crazy journey together with our spirituality and just our manifesting and just opening up where we were being in corporate America, mm-hmm. and then becoming like this very spiritually based vibrational person. Mm-hmm. Not that you can't be that being in corporate America, but it's definitely not for everyone, right? Mm-hmm. So do you want to share a little bit about like your journey of how you got into laws of attraction? Yeah, so it was about 5 years ago. I watched The Secret, and I know that's everybody's gateway into just... It's the gateway drug to being a hippie.
To being a hippie, yeah. And I was like just blown away that this is life. Like, you can really have everything and exactly as you want it. And so I watched that movie like 5 times, like over and over and over again. And that was in December. First week of January. So December, guys. First week of January is when I met April at the bridal show. And they put us, like she said, right next to each other. And I looked over and seen her makeup. And at first I was like, ugh. And then I was like it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, you're just learning about this creation and this law of attraction, and you create your own reality. I didn't know what like the buzzwords were, but I just remembered that, like, do you want to create a negative relationship or do you want to create a positive? And so I chose, and it was a split second. I said, I'm just gonna talk to them, be friends with them. And we ended up just having so much in common, and then also realizing how different our businesses were, but why we were put next to each other. And I totally created that. I manifested it without a vision board, because I didn't even know what vision boards were at that time, to have an awesome relationship with somebody. And if I would have been so closed off, I wouldn't have experienced that. And now it's, 5 years in the making of just complete transformation. And it's not always easy. When you start down any new path, whether it be spirituality, business, a new job, whatever it is, you're not bumps in the road, but those bumps in the road are, in my opinion, is how you learn. If you don't go through those bumps, you're not going to see the other side and see how beautiful it is. And so it's just been 5 years of just amazing experiences, and really recently, like even how the vision board, this vision board concept with the journaling and the senses came to me in May of this year. And I have been researching and just gathering information for years and years, and this came to me divinely as well. And it was when April asked me to do this video with her as a resource to all of you to be able to have this tool, because it is so awesome. There's so many tools out there, and there's so many people out there that teach vision boards, and they're all amazing. They all will work if you exercise with them and you put the I don't even like to use the word work, but if you put the intention with them and really be yourself with it, they all work. But this particular way of doing it was eye-opening for me, and it has completely transformed my life just in the last 5-6 months. And April's witnessed my journey for the whole 5 years.
It's been awesome.
Yeah, it's been fun. And this is just the beginning. I really believe it's just the beginning. And we'll watch this video in a couple years from now and laugh about it, but be so inspired that we did it, and we got out here and shared this with you so that each of you could be living the best lives that you have and that you desire. And everybody's looks differently, and that's the beauty of
and whoever's supposed to watch this video will watch this video. And if there's a different vision board method that works for them, they're gonna find that video, because it really is kind of the intention behind everything and going forward with that. So I invite you, take what we shared here, really be about it, really feel about it, do what works for you. I would love feedback. I know April would love feedback too on if you do something that you like. I want to hear about your manifestation. We want to hear what you manifest.
Hear about your vision board. Send us pictures. Send us, you saw mine. It's they're all gonna look different. So I would love to see them. We want to see each of your creations and ask us questions if there's. I know one last thing that I want to share. When I first got into vision boards and into this creation mindset, it's really easy to fall back into the lack, and that I don't want. What am I trying to say? You focus on what you don't want, even when you're trying to focus on what you want.
It's really a place of scarcity.
Yeah, and so there's words that are more empowering than other words, and so if you're running across a statement like, I want to lose weight, is actually not a very positive statement.
Or I don't want to be fat.
I don't want to be fat. That's a good example. There's ways to say those statements in a positive, high vibration,
and healthy.
High vibrational way. So if you run across something that's kind of like, I get to manifest this, but I just don't quite know how to say it so that it resonates with me, ask, and
just message us. We'll put our information on the bottom. And for sure, seriously, share your stories, because you can't keep all your you can't keep it all to yourself. And when you share excitement and you share things, you never know who that's going to inspire. Some random person at the coffee shop that you're just like, I manifested this free cup of coffee. Someone hearing that, they might be the person next time that buys the cup of coffee for someone behind them, that makes their day and helps make their manifestation come true. And then they get to manifest that they're generous and that they come from the law of abundance and gratitude. So it really, every small little thing in your life adds up to a big, huge, beautiful life full of abundance and manifestation. So thanks for taking the time. Time is also, we know, precious. So we appreciate you guys watching this. And if you know anyone who would be served from this, just share it with them.
Share it. And go create the life of your dreams.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Yeah.